I trusted my husband completely, until my sister accidentally sent me screenshots of their chat. They'd been together for months behind my back. I need to tell someone what I did. What I am. Because no one in my real will ever look at me the same way again. And maybe writing this out will help me breathe for 5 seconds without feeling like I'm drowning. My name is Sarah. I'm 34. I was married to David for 8 years. We have 2 daughters, Emma's 7 and Lily 4. I say was, because as of 3 weeks ago, I'm living in a studio apartment that smells like someone else's cooking. And my lawyer says the divorce will be finalized in 6 months. And it's all because of what I did with my sister's husband. No. That's not honest enough. It's because I chose to destroy everything for someone who didn't even want me. It's because I convinced that what I felt was love when it was just ego and selfishness wrapped in pretty lies. Let me start at the beginning. Because I need to understand how someone like me, someone who thought she was a good person, a good mother, a good wife, could do something so unforgivable. It started 18 months ago at my sister Claire's wedding. She married Marcus, this confident, charismatic guy who worked in finance. The kind of man who fills a room when he walks in. David and I had been going through a rough patch. Nothing dramatic. Just the slow fade that happens when have young kids, and are both exhausted all the time. We hadn't been intimate in months. We barely talked about anything except schedules and bills, and who was picking Emma from soccer. I felt invisible. Marcus noticed me at the reception. Really noticed me. He asked me to dance when David was outside taking a work call. He told me I looked beautiful. He made me feel like I was 25 again, before the stretch marks and the sleepless nights and the constant worry about money. When his hand touched my waist, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. I told it was nothing. Just a nice moment. Claire's new husband being sweet to her sister. But then he texted me 3 days later. Rate seeing at the wedding. Really did look amazing. I should have deleted it. Should have blocked his number. Should have told Claire immediately. Instead, I felt that flutter in my stomach and wrote back. Thank. Are sweet. That's how it starts, no. Not with some grand decision to betray everyone love. Just a tiny integrity that pretend isn't there. The text became daily. Then hourly. He'd complain about how stressed he was at work. I'd vent about David's emotional distance. We told each other we were just friends. That it was nice to have someone who understood, but we were building something secret. Something that felt thrilling precisely because it was wrong. I started taking longer in the bathroom, hiding my phone. Started doing my makeup differently. Started feeling excited to wake, because I knew he'd message me. David noticed I seemed happier. He thought I was finally adjusting to our routine. He had no idea I was getting that happiness from destroying his. 4 months after the wedding, Marcus and I met for coffee. Just coffee. Claire thought he was at a work meeting. David thought I was shopping for Emma's birthday present. We sat in a corner booth, at a place 30 minutes from our neighborhood, and for 2 hours, we talked like we were the only people in the world. When he walked me to my car, he kissed me. I kissed him back. I drove home and played Frozen with Lily like I hadn't just crossed a line that should have been burned into my brain as permanent. I made dinner. I asked David about his day. I tucked my daughters into bed and read them stories. And the whole time, I was thinking about Marcus's lips and when I'd see him again. The affair lasted 14 months. 14 months of lying. Of deleting messages. Of sneaking away during family gatherings to text him from the bathroom. Of hotel rooms on afternoons when I told David I had dentist appointments, or was meeting old college friends. Of looking Claire in the eye at Sunday dinners and asking how married was treating her. 14 months of becoming someone I didn't recognize. Marcus would tell me he was unhappy with Claire. That she didn't understand him the way I did. That he'd married her too quickly. That he thought about leaving her. I believed him because I wanted to. Because it made what we were doing feel less monstrous, if he was planning to be with me eventually. I actually fantasized about it. About Marcus and me together, raising my girls, starting fresh. I pictured telling David I wanted a divorce, and somehow making it seem like a mutual decision. I imagined Claire would eventually forgive me, would understand that sometimes people fall in love in unexpected ways. I was living in a fantasy world built on other people's pain. David started asking questions around month 10. Why was I on my phone so much? Why did I seem distracted? I told him I was stressed about work, about the kids, about money. I turned it around on him, said he was being paranoid and controlling. I made him feel crazy for noticing that his wife was cheating on him with his sister-in-law's husband. That's what cheaters do. We gaslight. We manipulate. We make ourselves the victim even as we're twisting. Then, 3 weeks ago, Claire texted me. Can call me when have a minute. My stomach dropped. I don't know how I knew, but I knew. I called her. She was crying so hard she could barely speak. I need to send something, she said. I need to see this. The screenshots came through one by one, messages between Marcus and someone saved in his phone as J. Wilson. She'd found them on iPad when she was looking for a recipe. Except, J. Wilson wasn't some random person. The messages made it clear. The intimate details, the inside jokes, the plans to meet. I think he's having an affair, Claire said, her voice breaking. I think it's been going on for over a year. Look at the dates. Sarah, what do I do? Or the only person I can talk to about this? Or my sister? I stared at those screenshots. At my own words coming back to me in blocks of text. At the timeline of my betrayal laid out like evidence in a trial. Claire didn't know it was me. Marcus had used a contact name. But as I scrolled through those messages, seeing tell this married man that I loved him, that I couldn't wait to leave David, that I fantasized about our together, I realized Claire would figure it out. The details were too specific. The timing matched too many family events. Sarah, she said. There. What should I do? I should have confessed right then. Should have told her the truth and faced what I'd done. Instead, I said, I'm so sorry, Claire. That's horrible. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. I told my sister, whose I destroyed, that maybe she was wrong about her husband cheating on her. I hung in my kitchen sink. That night, I couldn't sleep. David was snoring next to me, completely unaware. Emma had crawled into our bed after a nightmare, and was curled against my side. And I lay there in the darkness, understanding for the first time what I'd actually done. I hadn't just cheated on David. I'd betrayed my sister. I'd risked my children's stability. I'd become the villain in everyone's story, including my own. I texted Marcus at 2 a.m. She knows. Not about me yet, but she knows. He didn't respond for 3 hours. When he did, it was 5 words. We need to stop talking. Not, I love. Not, we'll figure this out. Just a clean like I'd been nothing but a problem to be solved. I realized in that moment that he'd never loved me. That I'd thrown away my marriage, my relationship with my sister, my self-respect, for someone who saw me as a convenience, a distraction, a mistake. The next morning, Claire called me again. I figured out who J. Wilson is, she said. Her voice was different, cold. I went through the messages again. The one about Emma's recital. The one about anniversary with David. The one where talked about meeting at that hotel near house. I couldn't breathe. How could? She whispered. How could do this to me? I'm sister. We're at my wedding. Held my hand when I said my vows. And the whole time, we're already planning this. Claire, don't dare try to explain. I'm telling David. I'm telling everyone. And I never want to see again. She hung. David came home early from work that day. I was sitting at the kitchen table, staring at my phone, trying to figure out if there was any reality where I could fix this. Where I could make people understand. There wasn't. He walked in and just stood in the doorway, looking at me like he'd never seen me before. Like I was a stranger who'd broken into his house and was wearing his wife's face. "Claire called me," he said. Those 3 words ended my marriage. I tried to explain. God, I tried. I told him about feeling invisible, about how Marcus made me feel seen, about the loneliness, about how it just happened gradually, and I didn't know how to stop it. He listened to all of it with this expression I'd never seen on his face before. Not anger. Something worse. Disappointment. Disgust. "So you're saying this is my fault," he said quietly. "Because I worked too much. Because I was tired after taking care of our kids. Because I didn't compliment enough." No. That's not what I had an affair with sister's husband for over a year. Looked me in the eye every single day and lied. Had with me while we're sleeping with him. Let me think I was crazy when I asked if something was wrong. His voice cracked. Let our daughters call mommy while we're destroying their family. That's when I started crying. Not because I felt sorry for, though part of me did, but because hearing it said out loud, hearing what I'd actually done in plain words, made it real in a way it hadn't been before. "I'm sorry," I said. "David, I'm so sorry. Can go to counseling. I'll never see him again. I'll do whatever need." He laughed. Actually laughed. "I'll never see him again. He's married to sister. He's going to be at every family event for the rest of our lives. Except won't be at those events. Because after what did, no one in family is ever going to forgive Pi. Please," I begged. "Please don't do this. Think about the girls." And that's when his face changed. That's when I saw real anger. Don't dare use our daughters as a reason to stay. Didn't think about them when we're in hotel rooms with Marcus. Didn't think about them when we're lying to me. Didn't think about Emma overhearing on the phone late at night. Or Lily asking me why mommy is always on her phone now. He picked his keys. "I'm staying at my brother's tonight. I'll be back tomorrow to get some things. Need to figure out where going to live. Because I'm not staying in this house. This is my house too. Can't just watch me. My lawyer says I have grounds for fault-based divorce. Adultery. And given that it was with a family member's spouse, and that been lying for over a year, he thinks I have a very good case for primary custody." The world stopped. "Custody? David, no. Can't take my kids. I'm not taking them from. We're losing them because of own choices. But they deserve stability. They deserve a parent who doesn't lie to them every single day. They deserve better than." He left. I sat in that kitchen until it got dark. Until I heard Emma's bus pull outside. I had to pull together to get the door. Had to paste on a smile and ask about her day. Had to make dinner and help with homework, and give baths and read bedtime stories, while my entire collapsed around me. Lily asked me why I was sad. I told her mommy was just tired. She hugged me and said, "It's okay, mommy. Tomorrow will be better." I held her and cried into her hair, knowing tomorrow would be worse. Knowing every day after that would be worse. That night, my phone started exploding. My mom called. My dad called. My aunt, my cousins, family friends. All of them had heard from Claire. All of them wanted to know if it was true. If I'd really done this. I couldn't answer. Couldn't face their voices. I let every call go to voicemail. My mother's message was the worst. "Sarah. Please tell me Claire is wrong. Please tell me my daughter didn't do something this cruel. Call me back. We need to talk about this." I never called her back. Because what was I going to say? That yes, I did it. That I had reasons. That I was lonely. That I convinced it was love. Those weren't excuses. They were just pathetic justifications for being a terrible person. Marcus texted me once. "I told Claire I'm filing for divorce. This is fault. Should have been more careful." Not "I'm sorry." Not "I take responsibility too." Just blame. Just anger that I'd ruined his comfortable. I blocked his number. Too late, but I did it. The next few days were a blur of lawyers and arguments and packing. David was cold. Professional. He treated me like a business transaction he needed to close. When he came to get his things, He wouldn't look at me. When Emma asked why Daddy was taking his clothes, he said, "Daddy's going to stay somewhere else for a little while." "Why?" she asked. "Did and Mommy have a something like that?" he said. Lily started crying. But she didn't felt the wrongness in the air. She clung to me and said, "Don't go, Daddy." "I have to, sweetheart," he said, kissing her head. "But I'll see very soon. I promise." He kept that promise. I was the one who broke every promise I'd ever made. The custody hearing was scheduled for 2 months out. David's lawyer filed for temporary custody, claiming I was emotionally unstable and had demonstrated poor judgment. My lawyer said I needed to show I was stable, that I was putting the kids first, that I was getting help. So I started therapy. Not because I wanted to, but because it would look good in court. My therapist asked me why I did it. Why I risked everything for an affair with my sister's husband. I gave her all the reasons. The loneliness. The feeling of being taken for granted. The excitement of feeling wanted. The way Marcus made me feel alive again. She listened and then asked me a question that broke something in me. Did any of those feelings matter more to their daughters? I couldn't answer. Because the honest answer was yes. For 14 months. My own feelings mattered more to me than my children's well-being. My need to feel desired mattered more than their need for a stable home. My ego mattered more than their innocence. I was the worst kind of mother, the kind who chooses herself over her kids, and then cries about the consequences. The family completely me off. My parents wouldn't take my calls. My brother sent me one text. Dead to me. My grandmother, who'd always been my favorite person, told my mom to tell me never to contact her again. Claire changed all her social media to public just so I could see the posts. Pictures of her with our parents. Videos of family dinners I wasn't invited to. A long post about betrayal and healing that never mentioned my name, but was clearly about me. It got hundreds of supportive comments. People calling me evil. People praising Claire's strength. People saying I deserved everything I got. She was right to do it. I deserved all of it. But it still destroyed me to see my family moving on without me. To see my mother's arm around Claire's shoulders in photos. Knowing she used to look at me that way. To see my father playing with Emma and Lily during his visitation with David. Knowing I'd lost the right to be there. Work found out. Someone saw my name in a local court filing and connected the dots. HR called me in for a meeting. They said there were no grounds to fire me. But several people had complained about working with someone who'd done what I did. They suggested I might be happier at a different company. I was being forced out of my job because I'd become a cautionary tale. A scandal. The woman who slept with her sister's husband. I stopped going to the grocery store, near our house, because I kept running into people we knew. People who would literally turn and walk away when they saw me. One woman, a mom from Emma's school, actually said to her friend loud enough for me to hear, "That's her." Can't imagine doing that to own sister. I left my cart in the aisle and drove to a store 20 minutes away. Emma started asking questions. Why wasn't I living at home? Why couldn't she have sleepovers at my apartment? Why did Grandma when she mentioned my name? David told her we were getting divorced. That Mommy had made some choices that Daddy. And now we couldn't be married anymore. He didn't tell her the details. She was 7. But she knew something was wrong with me. Something that made everyone angry. She started pulling away. Started saying she wanted to stay with Daddy more. Started making excuses not to FaceTime me. Lily was too young to understand, but she felt Emma's rejection. Started copying her big sister. Started crying when it was time to come to my apartment. Started calling David's place home, and my apartment Mommy's house. Like it was somewhere foreign. I was losing them. Not because David was them against me, but because kids feel truth even when no one explains it. They knew, somewhere deep down, that Mommy had broken something that couldn't be fixed. My lawyer told me the custody evaluation wasn't going well. The evaluator had concerns about my judgment, about my ability to model healthy relationships, about Emma's expressed preference to live primarily with her father. They're recommending David get primary physical custody, she said, to have them every other weekend and one night a week. 4 days a month. I'd gone from seeing my daughters every day to fighting for 4 days a month. Can we appeal? I asked. On what grounds? Sarah, I'm going to be honest with. Had a year-long affair with a family member's spouse while married with young children. Lied extensively. Exposed family to emotional trauma. The court sees as an unreliable parent. Lucky they're giving any custody at all. Lucky. I was lucky to get 4 days a month with my own daughters. The final custody hearing was 3 weeks after that conversation. I wore a conservative dress. I'd my hair, stopped wearing makeup the way I used to. I wanted to look like a mom, like someone worthy of her children. The judge listened to both sides. Heard David's lawyer talk out my affair, my lies, the damage I'd caused. Heard my lawyer talk about my therapy, my remorse, my desire to rebuild. Then the judge asked if Emma wanted to speak. She was old enough to have her voice heard. My 7-year-old daughter sat in that courtroom and told a judge she wanted to live with her daddy. Mommy makes me sad, she said quietly. She's always crying. And daddy says we have to be nice to her, but I don't want to see her as much. I want to stay with daddy. I wanted to right there in that courtroom. Wanted to disappear. Wanted to go back in time and unmeet Marcus, untext him. Undo every single choice that led to my daughter saying she didn't want to see me. The judge ruled in David's favor. Primary custody to him. I got every other weekend, alternating holidays, and 1 dinner per week. The judge said we'd revisit in a year to see if the arrangement needed adjustment. Adjustment meant even less time if I didn't prove. I walked out of that courthouse alone. David left with Emma and Lily, with my parents who'd come to support him, with his family who glared at me as they passed. I sat in my car in the parking lot for 2 hours, staring at the steering wheel, trying to figure out how I'd become this person. 6 months ago I had a family, a husband, a home, 2 daughters who loved me, parents who called me weekly, a sister who was my best friend. Now I had a studio apartment, supervised visits with my children, and a reputation that preceded me everywhere I went. And it was all my fault. It's been 8 months since the divorce was finalized. I'm writing this from my studio apartment on a Friday night. Emma and Lily are with David. They're always with David on Friday nights now. I used to love Fridays. Used to make homemade pizza with the girls, watch movies, paint their nails. Now Fridays are just long stretches of silence, where I sit on this couch that isn't even mine and pretend I'm not counting the hours until my next supervised visit. Yes. Supervised. That happened 3 months ago. Lily had a meltdown during one of our visits. She was crying, saying she wanted to go home. That she didn't want to be at Mommy's house anymore. I tried to comfort her, but she just kept screaming. Emma filmed it on the phone David got her for emergencies. She sent him the video. His lawyer filed a motion claiming I was causing the children emotional distress. The judge agreed to supervised visits until I could demonstrate better emotional regulation around them. So now a woman named Patricia sits in my apartment every other Sunday and watches me try to connect with my daughters while they look at me like I'm a stranger they're being forced to visit. Patricia is nice. Professional. She takes notes on everything. How I interact with them. Whether they seem comfortable. Whether I'm pushing too hard or not engaging enough. Every smile, every hug, every moment gets documented and sent to the court. Emma barely talks to me anymore. She's 8 now. Old enough to understand that something I did broke our family. Even if she doesn't know the details. She sits on the far end of the couch during visits and gives one-word answers to my questions. When I try to hug her, she lets me, but her body stays stiff. Like she's tolerating it. Lily follows Emma's lead in everything. If Emma doesn't want to play a game, Lily doesn't either. If Emma sits far away, so does Lily. My 4-year-old has learned to reject me by watching her older sister do it. Last visit, I asked Emma about school. She said it was fine. I asked what she was learning. She said stuff. I asked if she wanted to help me bake cookies. She said she wasn't hungry. Patricia watched all of this and wrote in her notebook. I wonder what she writes. Mother attempting to connect. Children unresponsive, tension visible. After 2 hours, Emma asked Patricia if it was time to go yet. Not quietly. Not even pretending to spare my feelings. Just asked if she could leave. Patricia said we had 30 more minutes. Emma sighed and went back to looking at her lap. 30 minutes. My daughter couldn't tolerate spending 30 more minutes with me. When David came to pick them, Lily ran to the door. Emma followed quickly. Neither of them hugged me goodbye until David reminded them to. Then, they did it quickly, like ripping off a band-aid, and rushed out to his car. I watched from my window as they drove away. Saw Emma laughing at something David said within seconds of getting in the car. Saw Lily bounce in her car seat. They were happy again the moment they left me. I'm not their mother anymore. I'm their obligation. Their burden. The person they have to see because a judge said so. The therapist I see now. A different one because I couldn't afford the first one after losing my job. Says I need to give them time. That children are resilient. That if I stay consistent and show and do the work, eventually they'll soften. But she doesn't know Emma's eyes. Doesn't see how my 8-year-old looks at me with something close to contempt. Kids aren't supposed to look at their mothers that way. But I taught her to. I taught her that mothers can't be trusted. That the person who's supposed to protect can be the one who destroys everything. David got remarried 6 months ago. Her name is Jennifer. She's a teacher. She's kind to my daughters. She doesn't bad-mouth me in front of them. David made sure to tell me that. Like I should be grateful. Like I should thank him for asking his new wife not to talk the mother of his children. Emma loves her. I can see it in the way she talks about Jennifer during our visits, when she forgets to maintain the wall. Jennifer helped me with my science project. Jennifer took us to the zoo. Jennifer makes really good pancakes. Jennifer is everything I should have been: present, stable, trustworthy. She gets to tuck my daughters in at night. She gets to hear about their days. She gets to be the woman in the family photos. I saw one of those photos on David's Facebook. It was public. Probably on purpose. The 4 of them at the beach. Emma and Lily building sandcastles. Jennifer laughing with them. David's arm around her shoulders. They looked like a family. A complete, happy family. There was no empty space where I used to be. They'd just closed ranks and moved on. My parents still won't speak to me. My mother sent me one letter, about 5 months ago. It said she was praying for me. That she hoped I'd find peace. That she couldn't have a relationship with me, right now, because being around me reminded her too much of what I'd done to Claire. She ended it with, maybe someday. But not now. Maybe someday. The most painful words in the English language. Claire got divorced too. Marcus fought it, tried to claim she was overreacting, but eventually gave when she to everything publicly. She got the house. He pays alimony. She posts on social media about healing and self-love and supporting other women. She has 50,000 followers now. She's become an influencer for surviving betrayal. I'm the villain in her origin story. The sister who stabbed her in the back. She never says my name, but everyone knows. The comments on her posts talk about me. Call me evil. Say things I can't read without feeling physically sick. Someone started a forum thread about our story. It went viral on Reddit. 20,000 comments discussing what a terrible person I am. People analyzing my psychology. Creating elaborate theories about what kind of monster betrays her own sister. Some people even found my LinkedIn. My old social media accounts before I deleted everything. They posted screenshots. Spread my real name. I had to change my phone number 3 times, because strangers kept finding it and sending me messages telling me I deserved worse than I got, telling me I should end things, that the world would be better without people like me in it. I thought about it more than once. Late at night, when the apartment is quiet and the weight of what I've lost crushes down on me, I think about how easy it would be to just stop, to not have to face Patricia's clipboard next Sunday, to not have to see Emma's cold eyes and Lily's uncomfortable squirming, to not have to be this person anymore. But that would be one more selfish choice. One more way to abandon my daughters. They'd grow knowing their mother chose to leave them permanently because she couldn't handle the consequences of her own actions. I've damaged them enough. So I keep going. I show to my supervised visits. I pay my child support on time. I go to therapy. I work my new job at a company where nobody knows me, where I can pretend I'm just a normal divorced woman and not the cautionary tale everyone whispers about. I eat dinner alone every night. I sleep alone every night. I wake alone every morning and go through the motions of a that feels like a punishment. I'll never finish serving. I haven't dated. Haven't even thought about it. What would I tell someone? That I destroyed my family for an affair with my sister's husband. That my own children can barely stand to be around me. That I'm so fundamentally broken that I burned down everything good in my for something that wasn't even real. Marcus moved to another state. I heard through someone who heard through someone else. He got a job across the country and started over. Clean slate, new city where nobody knows about the affair. He gets to escape. He gets to be whoever he wants to be. I don't get that option. I'm stuck here. In this town where everyone knows exactly who I am and what I did. Where I see people from my old at Target and watch them pretend they don't see me. Where I can't go to a school event without other parents literally turning their backs. Emma has a school concert next month. I asked David if I could come. He said Emma specifically asked him not to invite me. Said it would make her uncomfortable. Said she doesn't want me there. My daughter doesn't want me at her concert. David says she's in therapy. That she's working through feelings of betrayal and confusion. That her therapist says she needs to be allowed to set boundaries with me until she's ready to reconnect. That forcing contact is making it worse. So I'm losing her more every day. And Lily with her. And there's nothing I can do but wait. And hope that someday they'll understand that I'm sorry. That I give anything to undo it. That I think about them every second of every day. And for what I've put them through. But maybe they'll never understand. Maybe they'll grow and still see me as the woman who destroyed their childhood. Maybe Emma will get married someday and not invite me. Maybe Lily will have children I'll never meet. Maybe I'll spend the rest of my as the monster in their story, the woman they reference when they talk about trust and betrayal and how not to be. I saw Claire last week. First time in almost 2 years. I was at the grocery store, the one far from my old neighborhood. And she was there with my mother. They were laughing about something. My mother was pushing the cart. Claire was adding things to it. They looked happy. Like a mother and daughter who actually loved each other. I froze in the aisle. Couldn't move. Couldn't look away. Claire saw me. Our eyes met for maybe 3 seconds. I opened my mouth, not sure what I was going to say. Sorry, please. I miss something. She turned away. Grabbed my mother's arm. Steered her toward a different aisle without a word. Like I was nobody. Like I didn't exist. My mother never even looked at me. I abandoned my cart and left. Sat in my car and cried until I couldn't breathe. Called my therapist's emergency line. She talked me down. Reminded me that I can't control other people's healing process. That I have to accept that some relationships might be permanently broken. That the only person I can control is. But what if I don't want to be this person? What if I can't stand being the woman everyone hates? What if I can't handle decades of this isolation? This rejection, this permanent status as the villain. She doesn't have an answer for that. Nobody does. The supervised visits are for review next month. Patricia will give her report. The court will decide if I've made enough progress to have unsupervised visits again. 2 hours, every other Sunday. Without a witness to my failure as a mother. I'm not optimistic. Emma asked David last week if she could stop coming to see me at all. He told me during our co-parenting app exchange. Said he told her no, that she has to maintain a relationship with me, but that he can't force her to want to be there. Can't force her to forgive me. Can't make her forget that I'm the reason our family fell apart. I wanted to tell him that I know. That I live with that knowledge every single day. That it eats me alive. That I would off my own hand if it would undo what I did. But I just typed back. Understood. And put down my phone. Because what else is there to say? I did this. I chose this. And now I have to live in the wasteland I created. Surrounded by the ghosts of people who used to love me. Watching my daughters grow from a distance. Knowing I'll never get back what I away. People ask me sometimes when they learn my story if it was worth it. If the affair was worth losing everything. The answer is so obvious it's almost funny. Of course it wasn't worth it. Nothing could be worth this. Marcus and I had 14 months of stolen moments and lies, and in exchange, I gave the rest of I gave watching my daughters grow. I gave my family. I gave being someone my own children could love. I traded everything permanent for something that was always temporary. Everything real for something that was always a fantasy. Everyone who mattered for someone who never cared. And I can't even fully blame him. He's a terrible person too, don't get me wrong. But I made my own choices. I told my own lies. I looked my sister in the eye and betrayed her. I climbed into bed with my husband and pretended I wasn't destroying him. I tucked my daughters in at night while actively choosing to their world. That was all me. So now I sit in this apartment that smells like other people's lives and write this out, because I need someone, somewhere, to understand what this costs. What it actually means to cheat. What lose when prioritize own ego over everyone, or supposed to love. It means supervised visits with children who flinch when touch them. It means holidays alone while ex-husband's Facebook fills with photos of replacement living. It means family erasing like never existed. It means walking through grocery stores afraid I'll run into someone used to know. It means lying awake at night replaying every choice. Every moment. Every text message that led here. It means living in a prison built with own hands. Serving a sentence that never ends. Emma asked Patricia last visit why she has to keep seeing me. She said, I don't want to forgive her. She Daddy. She Aunt Claire. She everyone. Why do I have to pretend it's okay? Patricia told her she doesn't have to pretend it's okay. That she's allowed to be angry. That feelings are valid. That she's here to make sure Emma feels safe while she processes those feelings. Emma nodded and went back to ignoring me. I'm not her mother anymore. I'm her trauma. I'm the lesson she'll carry about what betrayal looks like. I'm the reason she'll have trust issues. I'm the wound that will take years to heal, if it ever does. And I have to live with that. Every single day, for the rest of I have to live with knowing I broke my own daughter. Both of them. Broke my husband. Broke my sister. Broke my parents' hearts. Broke. For what? For feeling wanted. For ego. For excitement. There's no explanation that makes sense. No reason that justifies it. I just did it. Kept doing it. Chose it over and over for 14 months. Until it all came crashing down and buried everyone I loved in the rubble. Next Sunday. Patricia will sit in my apartment again. Emma will sit on the far end of the couch again. Lily will ask when they can go home again. And I'll smile and try to engage them and pretend my heart isn't shattering into smaller and smaller pieces. Every time they look away. And then they'll leave. And I'll be alone again. And I'll do it all again the Sunday after that. And the Sunday after that, forever. Because this is mine now. This is what I chose, even though I didn't know I was choosing it. Even though I told it wouldn't turn out this way. Even though I convinced I deserved happiness, and that somehow everyone would understand. They didn't understand. They won't ever understand. Because there's nothing to understand. I'm just the woman who destroyed everything for nothing, and now I get to spend the rest of my watching from the outside, as everyone I love moves on without me. If, or reading this and thinking about doing something similar. If, or having an affair, or considering one. If, or telling it's harmless, or that deserve it, or that somehow it'll work out differently, for it won't. I'll lose everything that matters for something that doesn't, and by the time realize it, it'll be too late to take it back. I know because I'm living it. And I'll be living it until the day I